following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
14:20 in the morning, 14 minutes and 20 seconds worth of sports talk to get you through your daily commute. Hot takes, recaps, best bets, and a little humor to get your day going in the right direction. Sit back, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. 14:20 in the morning for this March the 7th, 2023. Thank you for making us be or letting us be a part of your morning. Hear it every morning on Facebook Live and then later up on all our podcast channels. Anyways, today's show as always is brought to you by barnburnerhockey.ca. Use promo code 1420barn at barnburnerhockey.ca for their all natural hockey products and apparel. Last night we had the YouTube live show, first live streaming show. A few little glitches here and there, but all in all, it went pretty well. Me and Jim had a few discussions afterwards how to make that a little bit better in the very near future. So we'll keep putting those out there, maybe once every couple of weeks up on YouTube. But we'll do these on Facebook Live on a daily basis. These ones are a little bit easier, just one person to deal with, and a few clicks of the mouse that it gets taken care of. But anyways, after we got done the show last night, I watched the Washington Capitals losing another hockey game to the Los Angeles Kings last night, 4-2. Of course, Ovechkin scored from his normal spot. They showed a little montage there of him scoring all those goals from that spot over the years. He's up to 36 goals now on the season. Now you wonder what if he didn't have to go for the death of his father, what he would end up for the he missed 3 or 4 games. I think he had an outside shot at 50. But anyways, Ovechkin scored again last night, and another loss. That team just seems to be mired in mediocrity a little bit. They're not really doing anything a whole bunch. They're not there. I think they're 3 or 4 points out of a playoff spot, in 6th in the Eastern, 6th in the wild card kind of deal. So they're on the outside looking in. Only 3 points out, but we got a few teams to try to jump over to get there. That can be really tough because you got to win a lot of hockey games and hope the guys in front of you don't win a bunch of hockey games. It's tough to do this time of season because it goes by so quick and it flies by before you know it, the season's over. It's a sprint after the trade deadline, it seems. And this last month just goes and goes, and it's dumb. But anyways, since I've kind of noticed that since the Capitals won their Stanley Cup in 2018, they haven't really been doing a whole bunch, kind of mired mediocrity a little bit, haven't doing a bunch. And it seems to me that the biggest concern for that franchise right now, because you got to remember that Leonis and Ovechkin are really good friends and really tight, and they have a good relationship, which is understood. They both made a lot of money for each other over the years and the like, and Ovechkin's been there for how many years now? And you wonder what their thought process is there. I don't think that winning is the biggest priority right now. The way they got going, the way they got things going on, they have some good players, but their second, third, fourth liners aren't that great. They do have some players that are good. You have Kuznetsov and Backstrom that are solid hockey players, but I think that their biggest concern as of late is them winning or getting Ovechkin to 895 goals. He's 76 or whatever it is behind Gretzky now. 76 or 75 goals behind Gretzky, and that seems to be the major thing that they're going to try to do moving forward. They're mired in mediocrity. They're not very close. They're closer to a bottom feeder, not a bottom feeder, but a bottom tier of that conference compared to what you have in Carolina and Boston and Tampa Bay, who's kind of having a struggle a little bit, lost 5 in a row, and kind of guys are getting benched, and there's mayhem there. They'll turn it around there in Tampa Bay. But you got to think that there's something going on there that. Getting Ovechkin, getting that goal record is the big thing. He's got 2 or 3 more years, 2 years after this year on his deal left, I believe it is. And at $9.5 million, that's a pretty big cap hit for a guy who all he does is score goals, and that's all his thing is. I don't think that winning is a major priority. Yeah, they probably want to win, but deep down inside, they know they're not going to win. So maybe it's having the ticker at the arena there in Washington and getting the Ovi meter up to 895 is a bigger concern right now, because they don't seem to be wanting adding pieces and adding parts to get that team to a level where they need to be to to compete with the big boys in that conference. The East is a beast. It's going to be tough to get through that anyways, even if they do make the playoffs this year, which I'm not saying they're not, but it seems that making the playoffs is almost a waste of time this year for some of those teams on the outside looking in. And even like you wonder if they even care about it. Like like I said, Ted Leonis and Ovechkin are very good friends, and that's kind of the thing. And Ovechkin, he probably had a chance to maybe call it good and go somewhere else or do something different, but he's committed to staying there and getting that goal record and selling T-shirts. They'll probably have an 8. I was there for 820. I was there for 830. I was there for 840. I was there for all these goals, and it's kind of one of those things you don't know if the fan base they'll keep going just to see that. But fans can be a little bit fickle, and eventually you got to start winning. We talk about it all the time on all our different shows that we do here at 1420 World Headquarters, but that can get a little bit old to see that the team's not committed to winning and not bringing in free agents, and you get, like we talked before with the Vancouver Canucks, you get mired mediocrity, and it's tough to get out of that because you get the mid-level draft picks. Only the first 5 to 10 guys are like in the first round are legitimate first rounders and might be not franchise changing but franchise assisting. You don't get generational players, obviously, like Ovechkin or like Bedard's coming out, and like McDavid, who got set his career point record last night with the Oilers and their win over the Buffalo Sabres last night. But you got to think that there's got to be something going on in Washington, and winning isn't really a priority, and the only real priority that they have right now is getting Ovechkin his goal record, and that's about it with that one. And Washington's like getting mired in mediocrity. It's tough. I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs, but maybe making the playoffs is kind of a waste of time because you have to face those two teams in either be Carolina or Boston. And the same thing kind of goes with Sidney Crosby. Now, this one's a little bit trickier to me because Crosby's done all he could possibly do for that franchise. He brought it out of the doldrums when they got drafted. And Sid the Kid, he's no longer a kid anymore. I think he turns 36 this summer. So Sid the Kid, he isn't. He's been around for a long time. Won a couple Stanley Cups there, Olympic gold medal and everything else. And he's going to be one of the all-time greats, going to the Hall of Fame, obviously, as is Ovechkin. I wasn't besmirching Ovechkin at all with that last little diatribe there. But you wonder what Crosby's going to do. The thing about Crosby that's made him so great over the years is that he has this will to win like nobody else, and he goes out there, plays hard, and that kind of gets him through everything. And he loves the game of hockey, and he loves winning, and he loves being a part of it. He's still 16th in league scoring this year. I don't know how many points he got. You guys don't listen to the show to hear that kind of stuff, but he's got this will to win, and it's one of his strongest attributes as a player over the years. Is that tenacity and that drive that he has. And you wonder if Pittsburgh might move away because they're in a situation. Not Pittsburgh move away. You wonder if Crosby might be on the move a little bit after this season and say, I've only got a couple years left on his contract. 8.7 is a hell of a deal right now, and they could get a few good pieces. There are a lot of teams, and they make Pittsburgh eat a little bit of money on that deal. Because could Crosby go somewhere this summer and say, hey, like this ain't working. I don't want to be here. We've done all like we could possibly do here. The brand is what the brand is here in Pittsburgh. We're not going any further. We're not going to be beating. We're not going to be beating Boston or Carolina or Tampa or Toronto. And I know I put Toronto in that vernacular and up in that echelon because I think they're a really good hockey club. But you wonder if Crosby might say, you know what, I've only got X amount of years left, and I want to win a cup, and I want to do something else, and I don't see one happening here in Pittsburgh in this foreseeable future. And the foreseeable future is all athletes have is living the now, and especially you get up to the 36, 37, 38 year range. How many more years do you got left in you, and how much more drive do you got in you? So I could see Pittsburgh saying, you know what, or Crosby and Pittsburgh saying, yeah, if you want to move, we'll move you. Like we're not going to be looking for it, but if you come to us and ask for something, we'll definitely go and look. And like I said, that $8.7 million cap hit, that's nothing. That's nothing in the big picture of things in today's NHL. And like I said, if they eat a little bit of that money, it'd be a really easy move to make. And who wouldn't want a Sidney Crosby with that winning pedigree in their locker room on a daily basis and help a team just to get over the hump a little bit and make that next move? Like maybe a team like Toronto. I know he's not from Toronto, but he could go there and he would be the savior and everything else. Maybe I should give Kyle Dubas a call and propose some kind of a trade to get Crosby to Toronto, because that might be a kind of move that any team would want to make, and then he could bring the cup back to Canada since the first time since 1993. I know players don't think that way a lot, but it's just something that you would think that maybe they might relish a little bit and doing something like that, because it'd be a hell of a move for a guy like Crosby. And I could see him saying, you know what, we don't have a guy who can stop hockey hockey pucks. They got, what's his name, Tristan Jarry in that right now. He's not signed past this season. And then they got Casey DeSmits or whatever his name is as their backup. They don't have a guy who can stop hockey pucks on a regular basis. And there isn't a lot of guys who can stop hockey pucks on a regular basis throughout the National Hockey League. So you wonder if, like I said, you wonder if Crosby might make that deal and say, hey, let's do something here. Walk up to the owner's office and say, let's get a deal done here and help out the franchise moving forward. You know, you can probably get a good return for me, draft picks and the like, and blah blah blah. Because like I said, who wouldn't want Sidney Crosby in their locker room for a couple of years after this year at $8.7 million? It's an out there thought, but if you put a little bit of thought into it, it's not too outrageous by any means, and it could be a definite move that any NHL team would be crazy not to. I'm not saying make, but crazy not to maybe investigate a little bit, because it couldn't hurt your team at all. It could not hurt your team at all. Anyways, that's my rant for the day. I do it every morning here on Facebook Live on the 1420 World Headquarters. Anyways, on this day in 1986, Wayne Gretzky breaks his own single-season assist record of 136 by getting 2 assists in a Oiler 5-3 win over those Pittsburgh Penguins in Edmonton. Gretzky would finish the season with 163 assists. Think about that, 163 assists and 215 points. Unbelievable the numbers that he put up. Like when I do some research for my every day on this, and you see Gretzky points and points. Like it's unbelievable the numbers that he put up on a daily basis or a yearly basis and everything else, season to season. Those Oiler teams, but you're just flying. And just it was like the goalies weren't very good. I understand that, but it's still the guys he played with weren't great. Some of them, but the like the third and fourth liners they were grinders, right? So it's unbelievable the numbers that Gretzky was putting up year in, year out. And who do we got for a birthday today? Happy birthday to Joe Carter. Joe Carter, 2-time World Series champion with the Toronto Blue Jays, 5-time All-Stars, most known around Canada and across this great country of ours for his game-winning home run in the 1993 at the Sky Dome in Toronto to help the Jays win their second consecutive World Series over top of the Philadelphia Phillies there. No, he had a great career in, I heard he's not a really nice guy though, but like, I'm not going to say anything bad about Joe Carter on his birthday, but he'll be remembered right across this country. Everybody knows where they were that day in 1993 when Carter hit that home run in that October. It was something to watch it was, those teams were great, Whamco and the like and everything. So happy birthday to Joe Carter. I don't think he's a Hall of Fame. He's on the Ring of Honor in Toronto. It's like their jersey retirement thing that they have there. But Carter, he was a hell of a player, but like I said, I heard he's not the nicest guy, but he shouldn't say bad things to people on their birthday. That's not very nice. Anyways, yesterday I had Lou Gamlin from the Captain Lou Experience on the show for the Major League Baseball Tour. We had a great conversation about the Tigers. It was a fun talk. It was a fun chat that we had. That we talked a lot about the old, more so the old days of Tiger baseball, because we know that let's face it, the Tigers haven't had a very good run as of late. They had a couple good chances there in the early 2000s to get something done, but they didn't get it done. But it was a great talk with Lou. It's up on all our podcast channels right now. So make sure you guys give that one listen on our Major League Baseball Tour. Those shows have been great. I've enjoyed doing every one of them. Got I think 19 more to do, so there's a little bit of work to do there still. Got some booked for the upcoming future. A little bit of work there for Jim to get them done. But like I said, we're here every morning on Facebook Live at 6:30 every day, at 6:30 Mountain Time. So thank you for making us a part of your morning on a daily basis. It's fun. We get out here and we get our downloads and everything else, but we also give you guys the information you want to hear on a daily basis. Quick, easy hits for your commute or whatever you got going on at home. Sitting in front of your, instead of just scanning through your phone, just sit there and watch our show. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit like and all that stuff, and that helps us out for future things on the show. Anyways, 14:20 in the morning for this March the 7th, 2023. Let's listen to Lou, and then you guys have a great day. And remember, it doesn't matter where you are, it's who you're with. Have a good day, folks, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. What's your thoughts on the pitch clock so far?
I like it. I don't mind it. You know, it's funny is we went to a couple of minor league games. I live in just outside of Lansing, Michigan. So we've gone to some Lansing Lugnut games where they had the pitch clock last year.
Okay. Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't mind it. I didn't realize it at first. And I saw it out, you know, in the outfield. And I think it's great. You know, it's funny is you see how the one game ended in a tie because, you know, the guy didn't get in the batter's box in time. And what was it? Didn't that double play get nullified the other day because of that?
Scherzer slowed things up a little bit. Something happened there because he's trying to outsmart the world and everything. Yeah.
Oh, God. Don't get me started on that guy. I mean, I love him in Detroit, but he's, whatever.
Smartest man in the room all the time. Yeah.
I've just ask him.
That guy too. Yeah.
Just ask him. Yeah. No, I like it. That's the one rule change that I don't mind. You talked about it earlier, the ambiance and sitting and watching the game and talking to other folks. You can do that at a baseball game. I like that part of it too. I like going on a Saturday night about, at 7:00, then you can watch the fireworks at Comerica or whatever. But, when it's like getting to be 3.5 hours for a 9-inning game, and especially, when it's 6-0 or whatever, it's starting to be 4 hours. They had to do something. And I like the pitch clock. I really do.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody. I can't remember if it was on one of these. This is my 9th or 10th one of these things I've done, and I can't remember if it was this here or in a local establishment talking about the rules. And the one thing that I would change about maybe the rules a little bit is in the 8th to the 9th, maybe go back to how it was, because baseball is about moments and the history of the game a little bit. And I don't know if it's just me thinking that somehow. The Flailing Tender Hockey Podcast is happy to have partnered up with Barn Burner Hockey. Barn Burner Hockey is a hockey lifestyle brand that is motivated by making all-natural, chemical-free hockey products for players of all ages and skill levels. Get yourself the Filthy Mist deodorizing equipment spray, the Dirty Dangles 2-in-1 shampoo and body wash. They've also got 2 different types of stick wax, hockey accessories, and apparel that will not only make you look good, but feel great on and off the ice. So go to barnburnerhockey.ca and use promo code 1420BARN and receive 10% off your purchase. That's 1420BARN at checkout at barnburnerhockey.ca. Barn Burner Hockey is so confident that you will love their all-natural products, they offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Barn Burner Hockey and the Flailing Tender Hockey Podcast, created for players by players.